Okay, it says I'm live, I think. Hi guys, can you see me or can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you? Okay. My hair's going well. Today I'm gonna make me and Scott's version. I've already made another video on making elderberry, and it's all Scott's recipe. But it's time for me to be making elderberry syrup, so I thought I'd jump on here tonight really quick live and show you how to make elderberry syrup. I'll let some people get in here first, if anybody. I didn't tell anyone I was going live, so might not be able to. Huh? Send your link. Yeah, my hair is like freaking out. I just needed to make a batch of elderberry syrup. So I thought I would share the recipe. I've had so many people asking different questions on like exactly how you do it and everything. And it's actually really easy. Making elderberry syrup for the longest time was extremely scary to me. And anyways, I found out that it's a lot easier than people, think it is. Because I was definitely very nervous about it. I do make Scott's blend, and we sell it in 16 ounce and also in 8 ounce in my shop. But I mean, I'm going to start selling elderberry kits, and so people can make because the clove and the cinnamon are pretty much to taste. And I've had a lot of people say that they've had elderberry syrup that has too much clove or too much cinnamon. And this is Scott blend. So it's, it's really tasty. And you can put all kinds of things in elderberry syrup and change it up, and like star anise and cardamom. You can put anything you wanted in it. But the standard is pretty much clove and cinnamon. But anyways, I don't know if the comments are working. Let me see here. I'll try. Yeah, maybe you try. Now, I have no idea how to get a moderator. I am just. There's 4 people watching. Okay, I'm sharing you on my Facebook. Oh, okay. Well, anyways, I'm kind of letting some people come in, but I see there's 4 people watching. I don't know if you've heard, we're doing the elderberry syrup tonight. I'm making a batch real quick, so I just thought I'd pop on here and go live really fast and just kind of show you how to make elderberry syrup. Flu season is coming up and everything, and it's just really good to have elderberry syrup on hand. Take a little bit every day. I do make elderberry tincture too. This lasts about 60 to 90 days in your refrigerator, which you use it up pretty fast, especially make it in small batches like this. But if you'd rather have a tincture where you just take a little eyedropper, that lasts like 5 or 6 years. So like you can make up a whole bunch of tincture and put it up, and you don't have to make it for a long time. You don't have to worry about it going bad. But it's very alcohol tasting because it's made with vodka, and it's not pleasant to take straight. You can drip it in your tea and disguise it, but it actually kind of ruins the flavor of your drink. So I mean, it's an acquired flavor for the tincture. This is super good, and you can put this in your tea. You could put it in cold tea, hot tea. You could put it in, a lot of people put it over ice cream. I mean, it's a syrup. It's really good. And you can put all different types of sweeteners. You don't have to use honey. I like using my local honey because that just adds, that extra thing for allergies and everything. But if you don't want to use honey, you can use like date syrup, agave, regular sugar, whatever you want to use. Honey is kind of awesome because it's like it kind of acts as a preservative. So I kind of always like to use the honey. And that's what I use in the one that I sell in my shop. But we'll go ahead and get started because I just want to get this made. Now, when making elderberry syrup, it's good to know that I'm using dried 100% organic elderberries, and these are actually toxic before they're cooked. They have cyanide in them, and they or is it arsenic? It's whatever's in an apple seed. It's the same thing. They're just same thing like in Johnson grass or anything like that. It's not that. I think it's arsenic. It's arsenic, but it's you wouldn't want to eat these fresh off the vine. They're not edible like that. They need to be cooked. So that is something to note. And if you wouldn't want to drop them on the floor and have your pets eat them or anything like that, they are toxic. But it's going to be a 2-to-1 ratio with your elderberries and your water. And that's not like totally precise. You might want to change those ratios up just a little bit to get like a thicker syrup. And you could even thin it to get a thinner if you just want like more of a liquid instead of a syrup. But Scott's is 2-to-1 ratio. So we're going to do 2 cups of the elderberries to 4 cups of water. So let me go ahead and measure this out. Now this makes quite a bit, actually. Right at it. Another thing. Let's see here. Yep, that's 2 cups. Okay, so we have 2 cups of elderberries. And then it's so important to start with distilled water. You don't want to use spring water or anything. You want to use distilled water because that's going to have less pathogens in it. It's going to start at 0. So there's nothing in this water. It is 100% clean distilled water. It has no minerals, no anything. So it's really good to start with distilled water. So we'll do 4 cups. And like I said, you can adjust this if you want to. So 4 cups. And then I like to add, as Scott adds, I think he said 2 of the cinnamon sticks, straight whole. They smell amazing. I know you can add vanilla in here too, like if you want a vanilla flavor to it. Now with this clove, it's pretty. He said about a tablespoon of clove. A little bit more. Is the way he does, the way his recipe that we all love. We all love Scott's recipe. But you can adjust it. Like you can make this batch, and if you feel like it had too much clove or too much cinnamon or not enough, you could always adjust it. Okay, so I'm going to put this on the burner. And we're going to bring it to a pretty good simmer. We'll get it going. And I'll stir in the, God, it smells so good. Can you hear me okay, do you think? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, I don't know because I didn't want to turn it on.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if you can hear with my laptop. I've never done this before. Now we have 2 people watching and 3 thumbs up. Yay. If anybody's watching, could you tell me if you can hear me okay? If nobody's watching, then we'll wait until somebody's watching. But anyways, like I said, you can use all different sweeteners. I've tried them with, all different. I've tried it with regular sugar. I've used the date syrup. I haven't tried agave yet. I think the agave would be just as good. You can use stevia. You'll want to put it in. You don't want to cook off your honey or anything or your sweetener. So you put it in after you've cooked it. And it's important to really let this simmer. And the thyme berries too. You'll want to let it simmer for at least like like 6, 7, 8 minutes, and that way you can get all the toxins out of the berries and everything. But the longer you let it simmer, the better. If the stronger and more potent it's going to be. And you can, I know you can reuse the berries and then do it again. And like you can add more water and get a little bit more out of it, but you'll want to make your first batch regular, and then you have a second batch that you might want to use up or use for cooking or whatever, because the berries still are going to have some in it, some of their good. They start departing like a real chocolatey flavor, or kind of a maroon looking stuff right away. But let's talk about a little bit about elderberry for pets, because a lot of people don't know that you can give elderberry syrups to pets. You can give elderberry tinctures to pets, but I really don't like doing the alcohol. And there is a way to do elderberry in the glycerin, but I've never done that. It's something to look into. But you can give elderberry to your dogs and cats, and with honey in it. I mean, that's fine. Any sweetener they could have, they couldn't have xylitol or anything like that. So you'd have to watch if you were using a non-sweetener, non-sugar sweetener. But they can have, go by weight. If you're going to give a child, I think we have on here that you give a child, let's see, child serving is 1 teaspoon, an adult serving is 1 tablespoon daily. And if you have, like mine is made with honey, so if you have a child that's under a year old, you wouldn't want to give them the honey. But for dogs and cats, I just go by their weight. If they are under, like 50 pounds, I consider them a child, and I give them a teaspoon. If they are over like 70, 80 pounds, if they're a 70, 80 pound dog, I give them a tablespoon. And this is like super good for our pets too, for their immune system. It really is a boost for their immune system. And it's great to give them, actually for dogs and cats, it's better to give them this through the summer months when they're more active outside at dog parks and all that kind of stuff. And where, we get more sickly in the winter months when we all go inside. So let me see. We have 4 people watching. Awesome. I didn't know. This is my first live on YouTube, guys. I'm so excited to do this because I really want to do a lot of lives so I can talk to people, maybe answer some questions and stuff. And I need to find out how to do a moderator. I haven't really looked into that. And I don't know, because my sister comes and helps. She just sits on the sidelines and watches, make sure everything's kind of like going right and everything for me. But anyways, I really want to talk to everybody about elderberry syrup. I had read let me see if I can find it. I read that there's all these studies being done on elderberries. Yeah, there it is. Okay, that's the one I read. While this is cooking, we'll read this real quick. Now, this is the National Library of Medicine, but let's see. Elderberry supplement reduces cold duration and symptoms in air travelers. And this was one of our studies done by our government and PubMed, actually, but paid for by the government, I guess. They wanted to see in air travelers how it did, and they talked all about how stressful it is on the respiratory health, and elderberry have been used traditionally and in some observation. Anyway, it goes down to randomized study design, tells you everything. If you guys research elderberries and what they've studied on them, it blows your mind. Like you can't believe that you're not taking it. Yeah, the clinical outcome let's see here. Upper respiratory systems related to qualifying life. Okay, so it pretty much is saying here that the results, the flow of participants through the trial between April 2013 and December of 2014 is in 600. Oh wow, 612 people were screened with plant allergies and blah blah blah. Let me get down here. I can't remember where I read. Okay, it says the placebo group had a collective duration of 117 episode days. In comparison, the elderberry group had a significantly lower number of cold episode days. Moreover, the symptom score in the placebo group over these days were 583, whereas the elderberry group, it was only 247. The difference in symptom score between both groups was also significant. They've done so many studies on elderberries, and it's really good for cold and flus, but you can probably take it for all kinds of other things. It's it's such an immune booster that you can be exposed to a lot of stuff and you're just not going to get it. And I'm not saying not to go get your flu shots and all that. I don't take mine. I don't take one, but I do take elderberry all through the winter, and I don't get sick usually. If I do, me and Chrissy were talking. We don't really get sick. Like, we'll just not feel good or something, and for a day or two, and we have like really strange symptoms, but we never actually get sick, and we've been doing that for years. I just definitely think it's a lot of these supplements and elderberries for sure. Anyways, you just bring it to a good rolling simmer like this, and then I'll turn it down. And you don't want to simmer it too far, but just enough. Now you can make elderberry jam. You just, like you would put your sugar in there and do all that, and strain it, and you don't want to eat the berries in the jam, but it's is that jelly or jam? I think jam has got the fruit in it, so it'd be elderberry jelly. I know our farmers market down here, we have the Amish people make elderberry. It's really good, and I think you're still getting all the elderberry properties even in that, but a lot of times, since they're not very sweet, that a lot of sugar goes into the jams or the jellies, and it's not quite as good for you as it is taking syrup with something like honey or something like that in it. But as far as storing it, I prefer to store it in these really dark amber glass bottles in the refrigerator for, like I said, 60 to 90 days. Now, my friend Gary, he's in eastern Oklahoma, and he's a beekeeper, and he grows elderberry everywhere, and just wild all over his property. And he's harvesting it all right now, and he said that the shelf life on this is a couple of years, even in the refrigerator, and even after opened and everything. And he said that people are pouring it out. If you're getting rid of it, it's not bad. It didn't go bad. He said it's got a really long shelf life. That's what he said. And he's been taking it. How old is Gary? 72 or 73. He's been taking it his whole life and growing it and harvesting it and everything. And he's the one, he sells kits, but only locally. So I'm going to start selling kits, elderberry kits, exactly the way, put it all together the way Scott has it, bag it up, sell it to you. And then you will just boil it. You'll only add your own water and then your own sweetener. And then you will have to have a jar or something to put it in. You can store it in a mason jar in your fridge. The only thing is when you go to use it, you don't want to drink out of it. You don't want to contaminate it, so you'll want to pour it into something. And if you're taking only a tablespoon of it, you want to pour it into something, like it's hard to pour into a tablespoon. That's why I really don't like storing it in these. It's a lot easier to do it in a jar if you can find a jar. If you drink kombucha or anything, they have the dark amber bottles of kombucha at Walmart. Reuse those. They make great jars for elderberry. But anyways, that's about it on cooking it. You'll just do it like this, and then we're going to run it through. I run it through this strainer like this, and that's good enough for me. Some people like to put cheesecloth on it, and really, because I like little pieces of, fragments of the berry are coming off as it's boiling, and they can get through the tiny mesh, so it might have like the tiniest bit of like a grit to it. We've just been taking it like that. But if you want to put cheesecloth over a strainer and strain it that way, you can do that. So it's really, really fine and clean. I think sometimes when you buy elderberry syrups, like, at the big box stores, like the health food stores and stuff like that, I noticed they're super, super like refined, but I kind of like it just natural this way, just with this regular strainer. But anyways, let me look again. I'm so far away. We have 3 people watching, 4 likes. That is so cool. I've never ever been live on YouTube. I went live twice, I think now, on Facebook, and it's pretty interesting. I do so much stuff, like in the kitchen in here all the time, for the dogs and everything. And I really I have so many people asking me for recipes and everything. And I think going live is the easiest way to interact and be able to answer questions and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to be going live a lot.
Kim says he needs some of that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Kim's on there.
I'll bring you some, Kim. I'll swing some by. I'll bring you this big old bottle. It tastes.
I love the way it tastes.
Yeah, it has a really unique taste. When you open the package of berries, it smells like cheese. Like it's so pungent.
There's a sweet smell.
Yeah,
it's
kind of a
like a berry cheese.
Yeah,
cranberry cheese.
Yeah, maybe. It's a very strange. Once you smell it, you will always know that smell. You'll be like, I smell elderberry. Because and even the jam has that smell too, Yeah.
Kim says I'll be home this weekend.
Okay. Oh, Kim, by the way, I've made the black soap if you need any too. I've been on a soap making roll. My next live, I'm going to be making my pumpkin pie soap, and I got this really cool mold to do actual pie slices this year, so I'm excited about that. So I'm going to do a live on making pumpkin pie soap and show everyone that process. I've already ground up the pumpkin, pureed it, and froze it, so that's done. Got the goat milk all done and everything, and so excited about that. And I finally have my own goats. So I went out and bought myself goats, and I will be able to milk my own goats because all the goat people around here that sold me goat milk, it was getting too expensive for me to buy goat milk. And I don't know if it's going to be cheaper owning my own goats or not because of feed prices have gone up so much. But I really like owning my own goats and being able to get my own goat milk when I want. So that's going to be really cool. And I'll be able to do a lot more videos on goat milk soaps. So anyways, I think this has been, you can kind of tell when they're boiled down because they get really, really dark colored. But that's, now you can, oh, that was another thing Scott said. Sometimes when the water boils down while he's boiling it, he adds a little bit of extra water. Sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he does. He said it just depends. So I'm going to add just a little bit more water to it. And he said you could even add it like towards the end just to dilute it a little bit. Yeah. Do it that way. probably should heat up my jar. I was going to put it in this jar so you guys could see the color of it. I just don't want to crack the jar. You probably, this has already been sterilized. You might want to do like a hot jar. When I put them in these thick amber glass jars, I don't even worry about it. You can let it cool down before you do that. And like in these ones, I use this to get it in there, you know, just a funnel. But for this one, I'm going to use this. Just not to splash. That is definitely not going to be. I want the, let me get this so it won't crack the jar. It's actually really cool in Oklahoma here right now. We're cooler than we have been since winter. We are really cool, actually. So if you start with a really good sterilized jar and keep everything really washed and clean, and you would use distilled water, then you're definitely going to not have to worry about anything like that. It's going to be real shelf stable and safe for you to consume. Ooh. I'm gonna make a mess in there. What I do? Usually I wouldn't do it this hot, but I'll just show you real quick. The color it should look like. And this is where you would add your honey. And you can add it in there with the elderberries. I add it after, always. Oh gosh, that smell. It smells so good. Now you can overdo elderberries. You wouldn't want, I know you can have elderberry tea, but you would only want to use a small amount of elderberries to be pretty potent. You know, it's actually very potent. I don't know if you can see how dark that is. I mean, that is very potent. Yeah, it's very potent. I mean, it smells so good. It smells like flowers right now. Maybe cheesy flowers, but this is where you'd want to add your honey, you know, after you've done this. Now, I've seen people add their honey in here and strain it, but I don't know. I just feel like straining the honey is not good. I'm making a big mess. We'll see how much. I added about a cup, maybe half a cup. But I added about a cup, maybe half a cup. About a half a cup of water, I think. So it almost makes, so adding 5 cups of water, or 4.5 cups of water to 2 cups of elderberries is gonna almost make a quart. But like I said, you could turn around and make another batch, and you could even actually make a tea out of that one. You could make some elderberry. You could do that again, and then pour it in ice cubes and make elderberry ice cubes. You could do all kinds of neat things with it. But this right here is where you would add your honey, like I said. And it must be pretty hot. Boiling. And it's sticky, even though it doesn't have honey in it. It's kind of got its own sugar. So you don't have to add like a ton of sweetener to it. But yeah, put that in your refrigerator, let it cool down, and you know, put in your honey before it cools down. Well, you don't want to put your honey in actually at this boiling point. I would let it cool down just a little bit, because you can actually burn off the good properties of honey. Like, it's like a catch-22. If you want to drink hot tea, and you really should drink it like tepid with your honey, to get your good properties and stuff like that. But yep, that's how easy it is to make elderberry syrup. It takes 10 minutes for a big old jar of it like this. And the studies, just get on Google and just type in elderberry studies and see all that come up, and just read through some of them. And if you're scientific and you want to like really see what they found out about elderberries, and not just anecdotal things, that everybody's saying about it. I mean, there's actual studies. I mean, it does work. It lessens. If you don't take it every day and you get sick and you have a cold or something, if you started taking it in the middle.
Jim said he's not getting any sound.
Oh. Are you getting any sound now?
Maybe do a chat.
End stream. Can you hear me now? Well, Rihanna said she could hear me. And Kim, yes, I can hear you. Oh, can you hear?
Well, it's on. Mine's got lag, so
maybe. Yeah. I think my internet must be going in and out. Maybe that's what it is. Can everybody hear me now? I don't know. Anyways, I'll have to. There was no way to go live and check anything. Like, there's no way to go live beforehand and see what is going on, or to see if it's like there's no test. I think you can schedule it out and then like fiddle with it or something.
No, it could be my phone.
Oh, okay.
I wish we had someone else. Who else is on?
Well, the Rihanna said
that was earlier.
Oh, earlier. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be my internet too.
Ask her now. Maybe she's wrong.
Well, anyways, I'm almost done anyway, so we'll wrap this up, and I'm going to. If you have any questions or anything, you can always email me, and I think it's on my my contact.
And you can comment right here on your YouTube.
Oh yeah, you can comment on my YouTube. This will go into my my videos for later. It won't be deleted or anything.
And I shared it on Christy Snow Facebook.
Oh, okay.
Public.
Okay.
So
yeah, it's on my Facebook too. Well, we'll put it on Earth Answers Facebook. But yeah, if you're gonna make it and you run into anything that you don't quite know what's going on, but
Rihanna said yes, sound is fun.
Oh,
so
okay. So it's probably the Kim's phone, yeah. Or it could have been just a lag in and out or whatever. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to end. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. That's all I want to do is just make up some elderberry syrup and show everybody how easy it is. If you want, also you can go. I'll link it in the comments below. But Scott, I did do a video and then I turned it over to Scott, and he made a batch, and it kind of shows a little better of him making it and everything. But he has just kind of turned it over to me, and he's been just coming in and grabbing what he needs off the shelf, and he doesn't really make it anymore. So I think I'm still making it the same way, but like he said, you really can't screw it up, because when I first started making it, I was very scared. I was like, you had to have 10 cloves, and you had to have one of this, and it's not. You can put anything you want into it and do it all different ways and everything. So it just gets some elderberry in you. It's excellent stuff. Talk to you guys later. Yep. Bye.
You know who